everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tuber. Welcome back if this is your 20th Rookie Season 5 episode review. It's been a whole month since we've been, not a whole month, but like I said, those 3 weeks gonna pass by flat. A lot has happened to me in the last 3 weeks. Nothing too crazy, but it definitely felt like so long between now and then. And a prediction I made on the last episode review is that for absolutely sure we will get the Season 6 renewal at some point before we come back. And I was right. We are back. We are getting a 6th season of The Rookie coming this fall only on ABC. I am so freaking happy. So excited. Shout out to everyone. The Rookie Nation, the Rookie fans, the Chenford fans, everyone. We got that 6th season renewal. I'm excited. We'll be back next year for a whole nother batch of episode reviews. I'm very excited. I really am. Not only just that, next season, they will be doing the 100 episode, which is it's not a big accomplishment as a season, but they've done 100-hour-long episodes. So I'm like, yeah, that's a big accomplishment. Like they managed to put out 100 episodes, hour-long episodes of content, and it has maintained such a very high bar for quality and everything. And I'm very happy that, it will be going to that. And of course, obviously, we'll talk more about that when we get closer to this fall, but we will be doing a definitive Rookie Season 2 review, which was going to happen no matter what. The lines may be the show was going to get canceled, which I knew it wasn't, but I'm very happy it's not. But yeah, we will be doing a Season 2 definitive review the week before Season 6 premieres in the fall, but that's then or there. We're here. We're in the last batch. This is the last stretch of Rookie content for this season. Particularly, as some of you may know, we'll be doing 3 episode reviews leading up to the finale, and then after the finale is over, we'll be doing a Season 6 predictions video the week on our usual time slot. Then the week after that, we'll be doing our Season 5 review. No spoilers for anyone who has yet to catch up the entire season on Hulu. But enough rigmarole. This week's episode, obviously we gotta wind down a little bit. There's still 3 episodes left to go before Season 5 comes to a close. And it was actually quite wondering for me, what are they going to do to really wrap up this season? Honestly, there's still a couple more threads they can still pull on, but they decided to kind of let that go this week. We actually took some time to catch back on some fan favorites. And honestly, this felt like a very slice of life Rookie episode. Nothing too crazy happening. Just standard fun, even though, yes, crime is serious, murder is serious. I know all that, but usually when the Rookie would let us know this is gonna be a big episode or this is gonna be a very serious episode. This was not it. This was just a very fun episode on all counts. We got every character at some role, sans a couple, and it was just nice to have a little bit of a palate cleanser, a little bit of simmer down a little bit, kind of, focus back in on the characters after so many, intense weeks of, development and, just changes, especially with everything that happened with Elijah, that this was the episode that we needed, just to, calm down. Is it the best episode in the series? No, it's not the best episode of the series, but it's just a fun episode that is mainly just for us to just, wind down a little bit. We've been away for so long, and it's time to edge back into that world, and it was properly done. So with that being said, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie. So we begin. Nolan wakes up and he finds his dear old fiance not next to him for once. He heads over to the bathroom to find her in a mid-puking cycle because apparently her best friend is visiting over for them for the week, and they're doing some very 20 young adult type things that these mid to late 30-year-olds should not be doing. Which I don't know why I should be saying that, because I'm closer to 30 now than I am closer to 20. So I'm not old yet. I act old sometimes, but I'm not, but still. But yeah, so she drank a little bit too much, and, she's really not having it. She just does not want alcohol in her system right now. And her friend shows up, literally clean as day, literally acting like nothing the hell happened. And she's ready to go for a jog, and, Bailey, in her efforts to keep up with her friend, has decided to, go jog with her, which I'm like, oh God, I feel so sorry for Bailey right now. I really do. I don't think I've ever gotten hungover, properly, in terms of, I had to throw up the next day. I feel like the most drinks I've had was probably 7 to 8 shots. I can hold my alcohol pretty well in terms of just the after effects the next day. But in terms of, just holding my alcohol, that's a different story. So anyway, we cut over back to Chen's apartment where Chen and Bradford are enjoying a nice, quaint breakfast date of sorts. Bradford making the pancake, which I'm like, bravo, Bradford. You've earned more respect in the Joe category. Definitely making up for Chen's stupid comments from last episode ago. They're about to enjoy a little bit of a breakfast smooch, which I'm like, Bradford, Number one tool: you do not kiss when you're making pancakes. You can kiss when you're making a cake, but you don't kiss when you're making pancakes. You gotta flip that shit on the right time, otherwise they're gonna be burned. Tomorrow shows in, immediately busts the mood and opts to get 3 extra pancakes for herself, which I'm like, bravo. You know, I usually get 2, but I will get that 3rd one if need be. There's a knock on the door, and Tim, pulling a boyfriend move, like, hey, listen, Isabel called me, his ex-wife, and she needs to talk to him. And since Bradford was already sleeping over at Jen's place, it would be fine for her to come over, which I'm like, reality-wise, in terms of a current boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, definitely not the right move to do. It really isn't. Counterpoint being is that Chen has already, like, did a lot of, like, a lot of things with their very estranged relationship back in the first season, which I'm like, I know that because, again, I rewatched the first season not too long ago. So yeah, definitely Chen's like, hey, it's fine, don't worry, like, whatever she needs to talk about, because, Bradford's not the cheating type, so it's definitely not trying to re-engage, like, the old romance wheel, because that's already long past. Isabel shows in. She looks wonderful, lovely. Again, we haven't seen her in, I want to say 3 seasons. I don't think she's ever made an appearance since the first season when she last left off, in my opinion. I don't believe so. So it's been a while, and so having her come back to the rookie role, this time now sober, kind of like the Isabel that Bradford fell in love with, kind of, definitely was something that a lot of people were wanting to see. So Bradford takes her aside to the couch to talk to her for a little bit, while obviously Chen and Tamar's asking, like, the traditional, like, oh, I'm kind of new to sort of thing, so I don't really know some of the old term, but, like, is that the Isabel? And Chen's like, yeah, except this time she's not, fully drugged out or anything. So yeah, post that. So I want to say, yeah, so Tamara doing her little, like, very nosy personality, decides to go and research more about Isabella privately in terms of her recent life. Bradford is asking Isabel the reason, why are you here? It's been like a few years since they last spoke, so it definitely is out of the blue, and apparently it is related to something else that's also out of the blue. One of Isabel's last assignments before she went drugged out has resurfaced, as when they go undercover, there's usually a filtering system that, once they're out of, that role, they can still get messages from anyone that's, texting their old, numbers, and they get sent over the details if they want to, like, reopen that case. And she gets a voicemail from someone related to one of her previous cases. She was trying to take down this drug lord, and he was in with the crew. Well, she was in with the crew, and she kind of had a bond with his daughter. She kind of was like a mother figure to her. And then when, like, everything went south, she had to abandon her because that was the end of her identity. That was the end of her cover, especially since it was so fresh that she didn't want to compromise anything with the investigation. She had to go and leave her behind. So it's been 8 years since that thing. So 3 years prior to the start of the show. Which, again, it still baffles me that, actually, the rookie timeline's still so weird, where, like, yeah, they're trying to update this in the modern sense, like, the last few seasons of the rookie were taking place concurrently with our timeline, but then the first 3 seasons were kind of, like, within the first year, if that makes sense. But regardless of that case, whatever that might be. So yeah, she's now trying to figure out how she can contact her out, because the only other details they know about is that her dad is going to be released from prison tomorrow. She's living with her uncle right now, and then the voice message definitely does not really give them much more of, like, what is going on with her right now. So Bradford decides to put a tap on her phone and try to figure out if there's anything they can do to bring in anything they can to figure out what her identity is. And so they proceed from there. We cut over to the station where Lopez is experiencing the final days of pregnancy, where she is now, she's experiencing all the symptoms. She's experiencing all the what was it? The bloatiness, the cravings and everything. Gray pleads to her, like, you could start your pregnancy, your maternity leave whenever you want. It's time to go. And Lopez is like, nope, there's too many open cases out here. I need to tackle some of them on before I go. And again, like, it is great that Lopez is in a family and a community in Mid Wilshire that they are perfectly okay with, like, when she comes back, she will not be demoted. She will not have lost any ounce of respect. They know her already, that this second maternity leave in less than 3 years is not going to impact them at all. So Definitely certain this will be a great move for her, but she decides not to take it just quite yet. She'll probably take it within the next week. So in the meantime, Gray decides to give Thorson Aaron the majestic role of being Lopez's personal assistant for the day, to aid her in any very smaller activities that Lopez usually would not be able to handle. And Lopez does agree, so and decides to take full advantage of it by having her be her mule boy for the second, or her errand boy, or whatever the terminology might be correctly. Nola gets cornered by Harper, asking, "Hey, where's your boo today?" And Nolan's like, "Yeah, Juarez got a personal day." And of course, obviously, like, rookies are not supposed to get personal days in their first year. They have to work all their shifts. And Nolan's like, "I know, but considering the fact she really went for like a life-changing moment with her and her mom, in relation to everything that happened in the previous episode or two." Was it the previous episode? Yeah, it was the previous episode. They actually earned it, which I'm like, okay, yeah, obviously, again, I believe Juarez's actress is only she's not a series regular. Is she a series regular? No, she's recurring, even though, like, she's been appearing in a lot of, she's joined the cast, basically. That means, like, she is, like, below a series regular, where, like, they can use her for every episode, but they don't do it. But I will get a feeling she'll get promoted next season, because this is how the way things work. So meanwhile, Nolan's like, filling her in about Bailey and everything, about, like, just her and her friend. Like, right now Bailey's just kind of trying to be the best friend she can to a woman that's literally trying to return back to her 20s, when those years have clearly felt long by. But speaking of long by, we say hello to an old friend from last season, Skip Chaser Randy. It's been so long. I love this guy. I really do. I really love Skip Chaser Randy. I love him. Just like, again, I love the actor himself, and I'm like, it's always a treat when he comes over to the world of the rookie. Where's Pete Davidson, huh? I miss him again. I already miss him. I feel like if you were to tell me, oh, Pete Davidson was in this season, I'm like, it was so long ago. That's how long this year. That's how long this TV season is. We need Pete Davidson again. Actually, no, I think he did show up. Oh, did he? I don't know. So Skip Chaser Randy calls him. He's on a case. He's asking some hypothetical questions to Harper about the law. And of course, Harper's saying, like, whatever you're about to do, don't do it. And Skip Chaser Randy's like, great. 5 minutes later, he calls him again. So what happens if he didn't do exactly what you said? And I'm standing over a dead body, right now. Which, for me, I'm like, Randy, you're so lovable. You're just like, I don't know what to call you. I really don't know. And Harper's like, okay, well, you're going to quietly exit the scene, you're going to call 911, and you're going to do your best to basically erase every sort of involvement you might have by Randy makes a boo-boo and slips into the blood of the dead corpse, which I'm like, Randy, you're lucky you're so lovable that I can stay mad at you for so long. I really can. So he falls in, the cops show up immediately after, and yeah, this is literally like not a good look for Randy right now. So they pull over Randy for questioning. They manage to, like, talk to the main detective on the case, to switch cases, so that, they can get Randy, so they can save Randy. Harper had a pretty big profile, like, very difficult case, but, she has no choice but to give it up to, the detectives, just so they could take Randy. So they're about to interrogate Randy, but the return of, I forgot her name already. It's Wesley's ex-fiance, ex-partner, the dickback lawyer that was partnered with Elijah, who's still very much undercover, very much being her own sneaky ways. Yeah, she's defending Randy, and Harper's like, I literally told you I wasn't supposed to see you for 5 years. I literally told you that. And she's like, well, I'm protecting Randy. Me and Randy have a very good business relationship, and now it's time for me to pay up my dues. And, obviously Randy, being the gullible fool he is, so it's like, oh, yes, she tells me all the time, go get clients for her, which I'm like, oh, God, Randy. Oh, God, Randy, you sweet boy, you need better care. So they pull over Randy, and being Randy himself, he literally jumps all over the place, doesn't really specify what's going on. He just explains that, okay, the reason why he was at that house was because he got hired by someone at a bar, that this person's stalking her, and that she needs basically at least a bounty on him to basically, get rid of him, basically. That's kind of how he pitched it. And by the time he got there, he was already dead. So definitely this is kind of seeming like a setup or just a pure coincidence. But right now, the only thing that they're advising Randy to do is to stay home. Do not get yourself in more trouble. Just stay home. Let us take care of it. Yes, we know we want another Randy adventure. We know that, but just we can't afford that right now. We can't. So they sent Randy home. Meanwhile, Bradford and Isabella show up back at the station. Smithy welcomes back Bradford. This is apparently his first day since his AI investigation from the shoot he had to do last episode. So he's back as well, and obviously Smithy's like trying to be not so awkward with Isabella's return. Obviously, again, this is the first time Isabel has been in Mid-Wilshire again in many, many years, sober. So they go in to tell Gray about the entire situation. Chen's just watching by. Harper being the little snipe that she is before the whole Randy thing kicks off. Just explains to her like, yeah, like she was the top dog in the DIU department, the undercover division, and yeah, so never really too like skeptical about like obviously Bradford's not the cheating type. They've already had their goodbye. Then right now it's just a very quiet, reunion just for the sake of solving a case. And then here comes Tamara for her last appearance in the episode, giving like dropping some like very out of context facts about Isabel, that like, yeah, she's like living somewhere else in LA right now. She has a whole new life, but she does seem quite too happy and eager to be back with Bradford, which I'm like, Tamara, as much as you are very entertaining to hear every single time we see you, that was not what we needed right now. So yeah, so they get a they pull in the uncle, who is very much stereotypical, like, yeah, I'm the new leader, but they got nothing really on him, and he's expresses like, I don't really know where she is. She's 18 now. She's kind of legal. Like, she comes and goes. Like, I'm not kicking her out of my house, but I'm not gonna like watch her like a hound. Like, I don't really care. So yeah, so obviously Bradford decides to loop in the main boss, her dad. He calls him up from the prison, and he's like, yeah, I don't have a relationship with my daughter. Like, she sends me a card every year for Christmas, but not for Father's Day. So I know for a fact that she does not really considers me Father of the Year right now. So, which is self-explanatory. And then moments afterwards, he gets into another call with the uncle privately, being mad about, where's my daughter? Like, this is not good. Like, you cannot have my daughter, like, just not within, within reach, so to speak, right now. And Isabel remembers this one place, this motel that they went to shortly after the either when he went down, or like when they it was just one of the bus or anything, just not that main bus, one of the mini bus, because she and the daughter spent some time together in a motel, which it sounds wrong. It does kind of sound wrong, but it's not. Don't worry about that. Meanwhile, I want to say Nolan and Harper are doing their own investigation about just the person that hired Randy, but there really isn't anything concrete about them. And then shortly after that, they're looking at that, Nolan gets a call from Smithy that his fiance is in the drunk take right now. So he goes down there. Apparently Bailey and her friend went to go out for coffee, but it turns out to be a secret rendezvous with like a lover for her friend. And Bailey's like, I cannot let you do this. I really cannot. And eventually she has no choice, because again, she wants to stay in her friend's life. She wants to make her happy. So she opts to just be there for like backup support. Something went wrong, something went downhill, and Bailey got into a little bit of a tussle. So yeah, that's why she's there. And plus, I'm pretty sure they had a little bit of alcohol. There was something alcohol related, but anywho, shortly after, before Nolan can get really deeper into this matter, he gets a call from Randy. Because once again, actually, no, wait, we're out of order here. I forgot. There's another scene. Basically, Randy goes to find the woman himself, and then she's also dead. Which I'm like, Randy, you poor lovable idiot. What are we gonna do with you? What are we gonna do for you? And when they're back in the interrogation room a second time, I'm like, Randy, this is the second time you've been in a murder scene today. Like, this is literally the fact that you're not in cuffs right now, being held for trial, is a whole nother thing. Even Wesley comes in and explains, like, yeah, he should be in jail. He should be like locked up right now. He should not be out. He was at 2 crime scenes. So if y'all don't have a second option to like, get him like fully booked and everything, I'm gonna have to like, go even further than you to get him arrested, which of course Harper appreciates the heads up and of course the warning, but they're also on the time too. So by this point, it seems personal that like whoever's doing this is targeting Randy specifically. And even Randy's like, oh, who can hate me? Which I'm like, oh, Randy. So they look after any sort of previous connection to bounty huntings that he participated, any bounties he collected on. Everything seems to be kind of like nothing really sticking by a step flag. And then Nolan gets a call from Randy on someone that he presumes did the entire killings. But the problem is he's in his trunk, which I'm like, oh, Randy. what poised you to go into the trunk of a car? Like, what poised you to do that? Like, what was the decision making in that, Randy? What was the decision in that? So they got no choice. They got to bail out Randy, because the moment Randy gets discovered, that's it. The DA wants his head. He's gonna be done. He's not gonna come out. Like 3 strikes and you out, boy. So they gotta go in, which I'm like, y'all have cameras. Like, it's gonna be clear as day. No one's gonna, like, you know, get Randy out of it. You really can't, like, get it out of the way. But right now they're just trying to, like, you know, get this on the down low right now. So Harper fakes pulling the guy over for, like, you know, being, like, kind of like, you know, faking him being drunk, everything, doing like a really stupid test while Nolan decides to get him out of the trunk. It works. They get him out, put him in the van. And it's like, okay, Randy is safe for now. But considering the fact that 2 times in a row, they told him, stay home. Just stay home, be lazy, don't do anything. Just stay home until this case is over. Nope, that's not going to be the case. Because, like, right now, he's going to have to be a babysitter. He's going to have to tag along with them. So meanwhile, in the same time, Bradford, Isabel and Chen head over to the motel, and you know, Bradford and Isabel are just getting a moment while Chen is off going to scope the area, see if she can find the daughter on her own. And they're catching up a little bit at just how things are right now. You know, Isabel's just reflecting on just how this entire case and how just, you know, this life has been like so, you know, it's what she wanted, but it's also like, you know, definitely not the way she was wanting to go and everything. Definitely took her down a darker path than need be. But yeah, this all seems like, you know, just kind of closure for them. Like, understanding, like, yeah, we made some mistakes in the past, but, you know, now we're in new direction. We're in new horizons. Chen comes out, immediately, you know, lets them know, like, yeah, she's there. We're ready to go. So right now, Isabel is going to have to seep back into her old persona at the moment to just, you know, keep the cover as may be for now. So Bradford has to leave just for surveillance reasons while Chen and Isabel get a moment alone. And they don't really talk about Bradford, to be honest with you. Like, well, Chen turns off her mic halfway through, so maybe they did. But yeah, like, they don't really talk about Bradford. Like, it's mostly like Chen's, like, you know, honestly, like, all the stories that, you know, Bradford told of her have been very positive in terms of, like, her experience undercover, like, her time pretending to be these people to take down a much more bigger problem. Like, you know, it definitely appealed to Chen. And obviously she was never able to pick her brain about it back in season 1 because, A, Chen didn't have an interest in that field at the time, and B, Isabel as a person was not even there anymore. But the fact that now she's able to do so, like, yeah, Isabel's really only one piece of advice she can give her is, like, yeah, just have a good work-life balance. Like, don't get consumed by the role, because, you know, that was her fault. That was at her fault that she delved way too deep. She got hooked, and then when she tried to pull herself out, it just was not working. Which it definitely does suck, but that's just the cards they may be in that situation. So yeah, it sucks, but, like, you know, that was just how things ended up turning out to be. So yeah, so after that point, I want to say, yeah, so they go in, they head into the room. Again, it's not like an emotional reunion. It's just like, you know, her just like, oh, you actually did cave. Like, you know, obviously trying to get the details and everything. Like, she overheard one night that her uncle was planning on killing her dad, and considering the fact that she doesn't want to be involved in that sort of deal, she tried to run away, and then now she's just kind of got her eyes back, because, like, you know, if her uncle's being this violent and then her dad's about to get out, like, this is not a place that she wants to be in right now. So that's why she ran. She didn't really know what else to do, so she contacted her to see if she can come to her aid. But shortly after, Bradford calls in that, like, yeah, we got 4 shooters coming into the scene. We need backup right now. He even has to let Isabel and Chen know for their safety. And yeah, even, like, by that point, Isabel's like, fuck it, I can't keep this character anymore. Like, you know, I gotta protect you. So this is the reality of things. I'm a cop. You know, this is a cop. We're all cops here. We're trying to save you. That's just the motivation of this mission right now. She's obviously in disbelief because, like, oh, so you were the woman that got my dad arrested. Like, you know, you're the one who basically upended my life. Which, like, it may seem like that. But there's good reason. But she doesn't want to hear that reason. She immediately runs out. She's about to get shot over. But thankfully, for the power of editing, she's saved. She does not get shot at all. So they begin a shootout. Slash and chase. It wasn't like, it's not the most best one in the Rookie's history. It really isn't. It was kind of like, you know, you blink and you miss the type of things. Like, you know, immediately after the cops all come, they get them arrested. And that's, you know, all they save and the girl safe. So, like, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Meanwhile, for Randy, they're back at the station. They're still peering through, like, everything that Randy has kind of, you know, committed in the last 5 years. And the only thing that Randy's, suggests is like, oh, I have this friend named Cooper. Like, we're just buddy. We chill and play some badminton every day, and I always kick his ass. And then, he also shows him this very threatening message of like, I'm going to kill you. Which I'm like, well, don't believe it. Well, coincidences are not just coincidences for a reason. So they assume he's the person. Of course, obviously, any hard evidence to tie him over to the previous 2 murders. What can they really arrest him for before he actually kills Randy? And he's like, well, why don't I just go beat his ass at a badminton game and see how that turns out? Which I'm like, y'all really don't have much of a choice. You're gonna have to let Randy almost die. So they let him go and like really put him in full gear in a badminton outfit, which I'm like, oh god, I love it. Immediately as soon as he sees the guy immediately starts trying to kill him, which I'm like, bruh, you're in the middle of the open. Like, do you hate this man so much? Do you actually kill 2 other people and you're about to kill him in broad daylight? Like, were you that pissed off at Randy? I'm like, Jesus Christ. So Randy's good to go. He got a broken arm. So, and once again, Harper and Nolan's like, as much as we like you, we hope we don't have to do this again anytime soon. So we leave it be for now. But yeah, that was kind of, and also like just no remorse for the other 2 people that died for Randy's sake. I mean, that still counts too, but okay, they don't really address that permanently. So cool. Yeah, so we come back over to the station and, so in the middle of this, Lopez has been using, Aaron as just like kind of like the assistant go, which I know they had their own case going on. Like there was a meeting that Lopez had to go to. It was a all hands on deck meeting, and she wasn't able to participate because she does not want to walk stairs. Which I'm like, I'm pretty sure Mill Motion should have an elevator somewhere. And then again, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. I wouldn't be surprised. I know they were. I forgot if they were part of the Randy case or if they. Like, I know they were part of something. I know they were part of a case. I'm sorry. Like, that entire subplot was like, it was funny, but it wasn't like something I had to really remember too well. I just know eventually Lopez had to pee a lot. She was trying to interrogate someone, and she kept annoying him because, like, she would not even properly sit down to do a proper interview. It was mostly just, like, getting up, getting down, getting up, getting down, doing something disgusting, doing something natural. And that's all the need be. And the guy was like, I'm done. Okay, I did it. I killed him. I'm done. Okay. But I didn't kill him. Like, I attacked him. I assaulted him. Do not worry. I did this. I'll sign anything. Just get me out of here. Just whatever you're going to charge me with, get me away from you. Which she's like, great. That was easier said than done. Which I'm like, oh God. Lopez, you're something else. You're respectful and you're cool. That's all I'm going to say. But by the end of the day, Gray takes notice of everything that she had to do today with that interrogation, with Thorson, and he's like, yeah, you're done. You're taking your paternity leave right now. You're done. So go home, let Wesley dote over you like the loving husband he is. Just next time you show up here, you will have a second child for us to see. So they leave that as may be for the moment being. And Lopez is like, okay, sure, I'll go, no problem. I'm just gonna pick up a snack before I go, which I'm like, bro, you live like 5 minutes away from your house, but regardless of that, maybe. Meanwhile, to wrap it all up for the entire thing, so Isabella has no choice but to talk to the daughter, let her know that also her uncle died in the midst of it, knowing that like her dad probably organized the hit against him. So yeah, she doesn't really have much family right now. So she goes up there, explains the whole thing to her, like apologizes to her for like, misleading her on for so many years. But, that's just the price of the game, that, she didn't mean it to heart. She just, like at first it was just for the operation, but she did genuinely care about her like a guardian type thing. And she wished that things could be different for them, but it's not meant to be the case. But the daughter says, like, with everything she learned, with everything she's been through, she has some money stashed away. She's going to go away, do her own thing, try to figure out what her life is, outside of her dad, outside of her family. And, she bids her luck. And that was the last we see of Isabella for a while. Chen and Bradford return home. They just grab a beer and, like, obviously, it was a good day. Obviously, kind of a hectic one, but definitely it wasn't as, messy as it could have been, thankfully speaking. But Chen did have one thing to tell Bradford, something important, because, again, technically, Chen is a trained undercover agent now. She can go to, like, these longer periods should she want to. She's only been doing these short-term, like, in the moment type of setups. And while it does make sense, while it does, this all understandably works for her character, she doesn't mean like the main reason why she hasn't accepted anything long term yet in terms of just like a full undercover mission that takes months or maybe even a year is because Bradford, that she's scared that if she takes that assignment, he will not be able to handle it. And Bradford admits, no, like, I will be fine. Do not worry. Which I'm like, are you all finally gonna give her the undercover thing that I've been asking about for almost 2 seasons? Like, if you're unaware, when I was reviewing the end of season 3, which feels like forever ago, I made a prediction that season 3 was going to end with a time jump. That we were going to have Lucy go undercover, kind of reset the status quo a little bit, but they didn't do that, which I still respected. They didn't do that. They did their own thing, and definitely now this being just the case, we're like, could that be a setup for like season 6? Now that we have the confirmation, I don't know. That's a big question. That's a pretty good question, but we shall figure it out later. Because that was it for this week's episode of The Rookie. So the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I really did. It was just all funs all around. I loved to see Randy again. Isabella coming back was such a treat. Once again, continuing the theme of the season where like they're just honoring so many things from the first season. Everything I do respect about that. Lopez, and I'm gonna be a little bit honest with you, like, as much as the Lopez Thorson stuff was funny, I'm kind of a little bit bummed that Thorson's not getting. I kind of said this a couple times throughout the season, but like I'm kind of a little iffy that like Thorson didn't really get a full major follow-up storyline this season after all that he's been through in season 4. Like, I could be wrong though. Like, he's had episodes where like he kind of popped in like as a big moment, like. He hasn't, like, when Juarez stepped in, they put so much focus on her, which it makes sense. When you have a show that you're keeping going, that definitely you need to keep things fresh and everything, which I do understand. But like Thorson's still new, and like he hasn't really gotten much of a big storyline since his initial one. So hopefully season 6 they rectify this, because like there's only so much you can do when you're just playing the supporting bill. Like, you definitely want to have something like really chewy to chew on. So. If that makes sense, I'm not really sure. But that's just something I noticed there. But overall, I still very much enjoyed this episode of The Rookie. Nice way to come back for these final 3 episodes of the season as we delve into the end. And yeah, I can't wait for more next week. But for now, I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. I enjoyed it so much. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this week's episode of The Rookie. Let's have a conversation down below. And I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 5th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the Two beside our Rookie episode reviews. We're currently doing Rookie Feds episode reviews and Perry Mason episode reviews each and every week at their brand new episodes on their respective platforms. But if you don't care about The Rookie, you're in luck. We'll be back next week within our brand new episode. Next week is the final crossover episode spectacular for the season. Will it be true crossover or crossover story? We shall see. We shall see next week when we get that all answered out. But it is a crossover next week. The last one before each show goes into their respective finales. But yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring the bell. Follow us on social media and follow us on everywhere. So until next time, for all you members of the Rookie Nation out there, it's good to be back. Let's enjoy these last few weeks together in style. But until then, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.